Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show by Simpson. Since 1973, Haynes Total Healthcare has been proudly serving the Shore County community and surrounding counties, providing exceptional care to over 50,000 patients every year. Whether you're seeking chiropractic care, physical therapy, or nutritional guidance, we've got you covered. From athletes to seniors, from pediatrics to geriatrics, we treat patients of all ages, helping you live pain-free, stay active, and feel your best. With a place in the top 1% of clinics nationwide, you can trust that you're in good hands. We're open 6 days a week, ready to serve your family for years to come. Haynes Total Healthcare Center, where healing happens for every stage of life. Call for an appointment today or visit us at hayneshealth.com. I'm Jeran Cox, and joined with me tonight are my co-hosts Matt Hoops and Christian Spradlin over there. He's going to be getting all the coaches on the line for us, and got a really good show tonight. And Matt, we had a pretty big upset, what I would consider, here in the SVC tonight. I think you were there, and Westfall knocked off Unioto at Westfall, and it's just going to get your kind of take or input of that game here for a minute.
Well, it was a really good SVC game. Great atmosphere up there, like it always is at Westfall, and I thought both teams played pretty well. Westfall shot the ball extremely well. It was a game of runs early. Westfall got up, and then Unioto went on a big run, and then Westfall kind of went on a 4-0 run to close the half to go down 1 at halftime. I thought that was a big momentum swing in the game. And then, Westfall continued to shoot the ball well in the second half, and Unioto struggled a little bit scoring inside. And it wasn't just one person. There was several missed shots inside the paint that, you typically see those guys make, and just for whatever reason tonight they weren't going down.
Yeah, it sounded like just trying to follow the game that, Westfall was really hot early, right, making all the three-pointers, and Unioto struggled shooting some inside shots. And I think at one point in the game, I think Westfall was up 23-16. Yep. I think Coach Combs made a sub and went small, and I think Unioto went on like a 12-0 run.
12 or 14.
Yeah, maybe 14-0 run to get a big lead, and they were trying to hold for one shot there at the end of the half. Westfall got a steal and a quick layup, and they got the ball back and scored again right before the half, like what you were talking about.
Yeah,
but,
they did that, and they hit a big shot to close out the third quarter at the buzzer too. So. Hats off to Westfall. They did what they're supposed to do, protected home court, in an early SVC matchup. And, I think this thing's far from over, but it was a really good game tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Huntington girls basketball coach Kyle Uhrig join us here on the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa, and joining us now we have Huntington girls basketball coach Kyle Uhrig. Kyle, your team's off to a pretty good start this year, 4-2 overall, 3-2 in the SVC. Won 3 games in a row. Just talk a little bit about what's been going well for you here this past week or two.
Obviously, we've been playing well the last few weeks. Really played well to start the season, too. Just ran into a couple really good teams that were playing well at the time. Got beat early by Unioto and Adena. So we had a rough stretch in the league to start. But kids have bought in since the beginning. I think we talked about that the last time I was on the show. And kids are playing extremely hard. We're getting some more production out of some kids that we didn't at the beginning of the season. Obviously, you guys are going to get a chance to talk to Allie Baker here in just a little bit. Averaging close to 25 points a game and doing a great job for us. But here lately, I think she'll tell you the same thing. We've been getting some production out of some different players. Braylee Housworth had 16 the other night in a win. Tori Smith 2 wins ago had 19 points for us. So Leah McCloskey finally started making some shots and cracked into double figures. And so some kids are really starting to step up and kind of find their way a little bit, and that's what we're going to need down the stretch here.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked to you, you graduated a couple pieces. You had Allie coming back this year, and the other girls, maybe kind of learning their way as they go, and it seems like maybe that's been going well for you. But I think the one thing that has been consistent with you guys and really helps you win is your defense. You've basically held everybody to 41 points or under except for one game this year. And when you can do that defensively, you're going to be in a lot of ball games.
Yeah, it's been really funny because I've been talking to our staff about how I felt like we haven't been playing very well defensively. And then you kind of look at the stats and you're like, wait a second, maybe we're a little better than what I thought. And you guys know me and our system. We play a ton of different things. I'm not a die-in-the-wool man-to-man guy, just sit down and lock you down, Gary Kello style or anything. I play a plethora of different things and a lot of zone defenses and a lot of man-to-man, and we're not scared to junk it up at times. But our kids buy into that. I got a really smart group, which helps me on both ends of the floor with the stuff that we try to install. You got to be smart to play for us, and we got a really, really intelligent group that does a great job on both ends of the floor, and I think it's showing on the defensive end because we can play so many different things. And we've talked a lot. Our league has so many different types of basketball teams. You go to Southeastern, you got 2 6-footers down there you got to deal with. Of course, Unioto throws everything at you with athleticism and not only great players but some size too. Then you got a really great point guard down at Pike, and the list just goes on and on. So every night you're guarding something different. And I think that benefits us in our league right now because I think we can play so many different styles on the defensive end that it gives us a little bit of an advantage when we're scouting and kind of throwing things out there at different teams.
Is that, defensively, you talked about all the different things you do. Is that something you go in to every game with, we're going to throw it all at them, or is it like, pick 2 or 3 things that you want to work on this week, and that's what that's what you guys use in that particular game? How does that work with you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, our staff, as we scout and we start getting scouting reports together, we kind of look at what those teams we're getting ready to play like to do, and then we try to sit down and decide, hey, what's our best options of the, if we're doing 5 things really well, what's our 2 best against this team, and we'll work hard. With the league changing schedule of us going Wednesdays and Saturdays is another thing that I think really benefits us in preparation, because we get that extra time to be able to go 2 nights to really prepare for our next opponent. And you're right, Matt. I mean, we try to break down some film and try to look at what we're doing well at the time, but also what we feel like we can take away, and then we kind of go from there. And again, the ball goes up in the air, all that goes out the window. And you're right, there's some nights we play all 5 things that we feel like we're doing well at the time. But the good thing is, and Allie will tell you this, our kids are bought in and they understand when we switch something, in the flow of the game or in a timeout. It's really easy to do when you got kids and understand what you're trying to do in that defense. And I think, not only Allie, but our other seniors and some of our kids have come back. And then again, Braylee Housworth as a freshman has come in and picked up what we're doing well.
Yeah, I think the one thing we were talking to Coach last week, like you say, you like to junk it up some and stuff. Like as an offensive coach, you probably only have 1 or 2 plays against a zone or against maybe a box and 1 or a triangle or 2, and it's a lot easier to prepare. And I think that's something, you talk about your kids picking things up. That's something they can do as the game goes on if they're only running like 1 or 2 sets, and it's something that can benefit you.
Yeah, absolutely. My brother and our staff, Brandon Grubb and Jeran Cox and Bridget Hood, those guys do a great job helping scout and get us ready. Do a great job, running the scout team in practice and trying to get us prepared for each opponent. And again, you're trying to take away their 2 or 3 best things. We feel like if we can take away teams' 2 or 3 best plays that they run, it's kind of like football. Matt knows, if you're trying to take away the run game or trying to take away the pass, what you're looking for in keys. And we really try to take away 2 or 3 things, and not everything that they do, but underneath out of bounds plays, trying to take away their best 2. And again, not give up any easy baskets. In the girls' game, I'll be honest, if you can limit easy baskets, that keeps you in a lot of games, especially, the way our league is currently.
You mentioned the 2 days of preparation. Obviously, that's beneficial. How do you kind of break that down? Do you maybe take one of the days and focus on what you're going to do, and then take the next day to maybe prepare a little bit for what the other team's going to do? How does that break down for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of been splitting those 2 days, to be honest. I used to kind of go more, one day us and then the next day prep for them, but we've kind of tried to split practice in half a little bit, work on ourselves a little bit, and then put in their stuff and try to decipher how we're going to defend that, or what we're going to try to do offensively against what we think they're going to do defensively. So again, we got 21 kids, which makes it tough at times, but also makes it great because we can throw different people in there to give us different looks, and our kids buy into that and play really hard in those 2 days of practice. I'll tell you, Matt, one thing we've been doing the last week or two that I feel like's helped us, and why we're probably getting more production out of some kids, is we've been shooting a ton. I mean, we've brought the gun in, put our guards on one end, our post players on the other end, really started to try to work in the post. We've really played the last few years. I mean, we've had a post presence, but not a post presence like, Braylee gives us inside, and Ray has done a really nice job for us. So, we got a little bit of a post presence to play off of to try to help alleviate some of that help that has been thrown towards Allie, because, we're seeing, you go back to the junk defense topic, we're seeing a lot of that the last 2 or 3 nights. We're starting to see a lot of boxing 1, a lot of, trying 1, 2, and just trying to take us out of what we want to do as well.
Yeah, I think, as you start talking about getting the gun out stuff, I go back to my younger coaching days, and, as a young coach, X and O's, you want to do this, you want to do that. And I remember I was helping Lee Snyder, great Adena girls coach, won the state, all that good stuff. And I'm helping him out. And he's like, what are we going to work on today? Shooting. And it's one of those things, like, it sounds so simple, but it's like, you got to make shots. And it sounds so simple. It has nothing to do with X's and O's, but it's the most critical part of the game. And I think if you're a young coach out there, I think maybe you should, listen and pay attention. It's simple. Work on shooting. I think Coach Buchanan, we talked to him a couple weeks ago, just his workouts.
I think that's 100% accurate. And I found myself as, I've got older and into the more experience with it. Like, we would actually build shooting into the practice. I mean, we working on something, stop, either free throws. Working on something, stop, 5 or 6 minute shooting drill. Just because if you think about it, if you just practice all the time and getting prepared for the game, obviously skill development's huge in the off season, but you got to continue that as the season's going on. I mean, there's some practices where your best player is not getting a ton of shots up, so you got to build that into your practice. Is that? I mean, that's kind of what you've been doing.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Allie will tell you we go 10 minutes on with a lot of live action, and then of course we go right into a shooting drill, whether it's free throws or a shooting drill, trying to get game shots. But we've just got a ton of shots up over the last couple of weeks, and you can just kind of see the confidence in our kids a little bit now. When the ball's going in the air, there's a little bit of a different confidence, and hopefully that continues. Obviously, got to go on the. You guys just discussed it before we came back on. We got to go to Westfall tomorrow in an afternoon game. They're playing really good basketball right now. Joey does a great job, as all of our coaches in our conference do. So they'll be well prepared. They got a nice freshman that's playing really well with some older girls that are playing good. So, another big challenge for us to go up there last league game before the break. Really want to try to go up there and get one so we can get to the break and feel pretty good about ourselves.
Yeah, well, last question here before we go to a break. We talk about Allie averaging almost 25 points a game. What are some of the things you do to get her shots or get her open looks, to help get your scoring going?
Well, I mean, before I say anything about us getting her shots, there's two things I think that help her. One, she's worked at her craft quite a bit over the last 3 years and has gotten better herself of being able to get shots. As a freshman, she's playing with Allison Basie. She gets to stand over there, catch it, knock down shots. She's had several college coaches calling us right now, and I was talking to one of them today and explaining that, she's played with really great players, and then she's had to kind of mold herself into that great player and be able to carry us a little bit at times. And she's able to create shots for herself. Obviously, we're running a lot of stuff. Her teammates, as she'll tell you, have done a great job of screening for her, and we run her off a lot of different stuff and a lot of different actions. And we're seeing a ton of different things, which has kind of helped us in the last couple of weeks, just because we've been able to put in a lot of stuff to be able to, kind of try to master the box in one or master the triangle in two. And, people got hands all over. But her teammates do a really good job trying to get her the basketball, almost to the point where I felt like early in the season, we were trying to get it to her too much. And I think here lately, it's been nice to see our kids start to step up, try to knock some shots down, because her and I both know we need all those other kids playing well for us to be, to be at our peak. And I think we're starting to move in that direction a little bit. It's not going to hurt her production any, but, just if she gets, a couple other scores beside her, definitely makes it easier on her. And I think she would tell you her teammates have been a big plus for that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming in here tonight, Friday night, and talking to us, and wish you the best of luck tomorrow at Westfall. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Says yeah. exceptional care to over 50,000 patients every year. Whether you're seeking chiropractic care, physical therapy, or nutrition advice, we've got you covered. From athletes to seniors, pediatrics to geriatrics, we treat patients of all ages, helping you feel pain-free, stay active, and feel your best. With a place in the top 1% of clinics nationwide, you can trust in your care. We're open 6 days a week, ready to serve your family for years to come. Haynes Total Healthcare Center, where healing happens for every stage of life. Call for an appointment today or visit us at hayneshealth.com. Okay, joining us now, we have Huntington senior basketball player, Allie Baker. Like Coach Urick just said, average about 25 points a game. First thing I want to ask you, Allie, is do you talk as much as your coach?
Definitely not.
Okay. He loves to talk.
He's stifling you. He's not letting you grow. He needs to talk less and you talk more.
Yeah.
So, he was talking about, how your game, your freshman year, maybe you're playing with really good players. You're over there catching the ball, shooting threes. Now you're taking on the role of helping these younger players. Just talk about maybe how your game has evolved from your freshman year into your senior year.
Yeah, I definitely, playing with obviously Allison Basie, you just try to get her the ball, try to do everything. So taking my game from working in the summer, trying to work on my game to helping out the other girls. And it's just all I have to do is play my game and then help the other girls play theirs.
Is there stuff that, as a freshman, you kind of watched Allison do and the things that she did maybe in the off season and during the season, how she carried herself and how she was so successful that you kind of tried to emulate and take and apply to your game, or how did that work out?
Definitely her providing her own shots, getting her own shots and helping the team create their own shots too.
Gotcha. You guys are 6 games into the season, so almost to the halfway point. What's been maybe your most memorable moment so far this season?
I just say every time we're together, we have team meals every Friday. Anytime the whole team's together, it's just amazing.
So that's huge. Because if you can do you look forward to those things off the court, and then you have, obviously the reason you're playing the game is you love the game of basketball, and if you have that bond and that connection, kind of makes practices a little bit easier to go to. And as the season's gone on, and I tell seniors this all the time, do you feel like your senior year is flying by, slowed down? Obviously the game slowed down for you, but just talk to us a little bit about what it's like to actually be a senior.
No, it definitely is exciting to be a senior and everything, but I'm also sad because I've been with the same girls for 4 years and leaving them and everything, and I just feel
it's tough, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's emotional because you can kind of see it coming to an end, but you're looked to as as a leader, as someone that the team needs, and so you have to fulfill so many different roles, and it's just from a coach's standpoint, it's cool to watch like yourself as a freshman to transition to a sophomore and then eventually be that senior leader and still provide what you need to do for the team. So it's I can understand how it's a lot, but you're handling it well.
Yeah, as you come into this leader role, what are some of the things you do to help motivate your teammates during practices and games and stuff like that?
I just try to get after as much as we can during practices. Sometimes it can get a little slow. We do like to have a lot of fun. We're that fun group of girls, and I just when the practice is getting slow, I try to guys, let's focus up a little bit. I just try to get after as much as we can.
What's your favorite thing to do in practice? Favorite drill?
I'd say I like the gun. I like shooting.
Like shooting on the gun. Okay.
Good answer.
You talk about motivating people and leadership and stuff like that. Talk to us about maybe pregame rituals, superstitions. What goes on in that Huntington locker room? What's your guys' superstition?
We definitely listen to a lot of music. We do that. I'm a superstition. Every superstition you probably think of, same hairstyle, same everything. So we're normally just talking about the game, talking about anything during the locker room, just trying to get ready.
Now, what if you don't have very many bad games, but what if one game, maybe one hairstyle and you lose? Do you switch it up, or you switch it up, or you keep it the same?
It just depends. Normally, I curl my hair and I put it in my ponytail, and that's my ritual hairstyle.
All right.
But yeah, it just depends.
Okay.
I tried the same hairstyle when I was a senior hoops. I don't know if you remember that or not. Shaved my head 2 times a week, right before the games, and you see what happens now. But
it doesn't come back.
No, it doesn't. But if you saw my dad and all 5 of his brothers, you know why too. So
it was bound to happen.
Yes, it was. It was destiny. So, what as you starting to wind down here, your senior year, you guys got 15 games left or whatever. What's kind of your goals here for the rest of the season?
I'm just hoping our team will just end up playing the best basketball at the end of the year. I'm hoping to accomplish some big goals, 1,000 points maybe, hopefully, and then just our team win as many games as we can.
How close are you to 1,000 points?
Do you want the exact?
Yes.
I'm 137, I'm pretty sure.
137. See, she knows. She's on top of it, Coach. She's on top of it.
About 5 games. 5 games away.
Yep.
No pressure.
Yep. What's kind of your plans after graduation? Are you looking to go to college? Are you looking to maybe play basketball in college? Talk to us a little bit about what your plans are.
I'm definitely planning on going to college. I'm hoping to play at the next level. I've been talking to coaches, hopefully playing.
What colleges?
I've been to Alice Lloyd, I've been to Bluefield, and then Ohio Christian, Kentucky Christian.
Okay, I think one of your assistant coaches may have some connections at Ohio Christian, if I remember correctly. Might be a cousin of mine. I'm not sure. So, Coach, you got anything else for?
No, just I enjoy watching you play. It's been cool to watch you develop as, like I said, as a freshman into the type of player you are now, and just keep it up and try to enjoy as much as you can because it goes fast, but you got to make sure to stay in the moment and keep doing what you're doing.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Allie, thanks for joining us here tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have more coaches on the line for the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. sponsored by Go Fiber. Internet services for tonight's show are provided by Glow Fiber, delivering speeds and reliability to keep up with every need from streaming and gaming to business needs. Give Glow Fiber a call at 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com. So, we just got done talking to Huntington girls basketball coach and Huntington star basketball player Allie Baker, and the one thing I really like about Kyle is he's not afraid to try different things. I think he talked about that, especially on the defensive end. But when you're constantly switching things up, Matt, you know how tough that is offensively.
It is, and you kind of even though you accidentally said Southeastern's, but when Kyle coached boys at Southeastern, I know coaching against him, that was one of the things that I always hated because there was just so many different things you had to prepare for, and you never knew which one you were going to get. And I think if you can get your kids to buy into that and become really good at it, it's tough to prepare for.
And the one thing about doing that also, about running so many defenses, is it forces coaches to prepare for you, and it cuts out for their actual practice time too, so whether it's an extra 10 to 15 minutes each practice.
I agree. And just to kind of translate that and relate it to the football, when teams don't just line up traditionally and kick an extra point and they do the muddle huddle stuff and they do all that, it takes practice time away from us to have to get ready for that. And
but it's stuff you have to cover.
You have to do it, or otherwise you're going to get burned with it. So it's it's a tough thing. Sometimes coaches can do too much and try to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. But I think Kyle does a really good job of making sure that, his kids are really prepared and have an understanding with what they're doing.
Absolutely. I think we have Adena girls basketball coach Andrew Day on the line with us. Coach, are you out there?
I am.
Coach, thanks for calling in and talking to us. I know we got to talk to you last Friday, and you guys had a tough one against Unioto, and then lost a really close game to Piketon there just the other day. Talk to us a little bit about, obviously you went 0-2. Just talk to us a little bit about your week and maybe how things kind of transpired for you guys.
Yeah, it was a tough week for us. Unioto is obviously really, really good. And they just have an ability to go on runs that make it tough to come back from. And I think that's what happened with us. They, especially in the third, I thought we competed well first half. I thought we left all points out on the floor. Missed a lot of shots, 3 to 5 feet bucket. But I thought in the third quarter they were able to get out in transition and get easy buckets. And when you allow a team like that to do that, it can snowball pretty fast, and it did. And they're really good. We talked last week. Miley is. I thought we did all right. She had 34. You know what I mean? She's just that good. And then there's just so talent all around her. So, I worried that game about how a game like that can affect your mindset as a team. I think it did. I think it shook a little bit of confidence. We were bouncing back from that very well, which not to take any credit away from them. They came in with a really game plan and they executed the game plan. They were able to do what weren't. And so really the last couple of days of practice here, guys, have just been really working on us. We can trace tomorrow, and to be honest, we've not spent time working on stuff, which is weird for us. We pride ourselves in being really prepared for our opponents, scouting, breaking down a lot of film, and so. But we really feel like if we're not right, then it doesn't matter how much we spend preparing for that. So really the last couple of days have just been about getting ourselves right, getting back to the things that make us us. And so we'll see how that pays off tomorrow.
Talk to us about maybe what those things are that makes Adena girls basketball Adena girls basketball that you've been getting back to?
Yeah, so I think defending intensity and with urgency, making sure we're doing the right things fundamentally, making sure we're in the right spots, we're moving our feet, we're boxing out every single time. And then on the offensive end, taking care of basketball, being strong with the basketball, making good decisions. I think those are things that we've really tried to hammer home in the past couple of days.
Yeah, Coach. Did you have to go to Piketon? Was that to Unioto and to Piketon, or was Piketon at home?
Oh, the Piketon was actually home.
I
Yeah,
got you. And tomorrow, home or away?
it's home.
Home.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, it's tough, especially when anytime you lose back to back in the league, out of the league, whatever. Sometimes you do just have to kind of look in the mirror and say, okay, where do we go from here? And it sounds like you guys are on the right page and on the right path, and I'm sure you guys will get it turned around. Have you noticed any of your girls kind of just stepping up and taking ownership maybe these last couple of days and leading you guys in the right direction?
Yeah, and that's something we've been begging for this group. We have an awesome kids. They're tremendous people, but sometimes you need to, like you said, I think that's a great word. You need players to take ownership and not depend on the coaches to hold themselves to a high standard. I think it's more impactful when have players that are willing to step up and say, this is the standard and this is what we expect out of ourselves. We're not there right now, and we need to get there. And so it's been nice the past couple of days to see that emerge out of our teams.
Yeah, I think the one thing, Andrew, when I'm looking at your scores, the game that Piketon, you lose 33-31. It sounds like defensively, you guys kind of held them right where you like to be at. And sometimes it's just the little things like making shots, right? We were just talking to Coach Yerg about that. Just as simple as that may sound, just making shots. And you talked about maybe, missing a couple easy shots, missing some bunnies or whatever. And it's just little things like that can be the difference between a win and a loss, because it seems like the last few years you guys have really been – it seems like you're always having close games, but you're on the right side of it. But something just as simple as making a shot here or there, and you didn't make those the other night, that's just the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, basketball is a really simple game. You have to make shots, and you gotta make more shots than your opponent. And I think over the last, I don't think we scored the last 2.5, 3 minutes in the Piketon game, and part of that was we missed some really good looks. That was we didn't execute well enough to get the kind of look we wanted at times. And like I said, if you want to win close games, those are the things you have to do, to make shots when they present themselves. And you have to execute well enough down the stretch to get the kind of shots that you want. And we were able to do that the other night.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've been working on some of those things in practice. And, Coach, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow as you host Zane Trace, get back on that winning track, and get the Lady Warriors headed back in the right direction. So appreciate you taking the time to call in and talk to us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's just hitting home with me tonight, just making shots. You talk about the Unioto game, talking to Coach Yerg, just making shots.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and it sounded like too that I know he's been on the show, I think every time, and he talked about early on having different girls step up and kind of just continuing that winning tradition of Adena girls basketball, where they were, early in the season they were doing that, and now they've hit a little spell where, they're probably not doing a whole lot different. It's just the ball's not going in the hole for them. So, I mean, it's a tough game. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. And, you just have to take a step back, take a deep breath, regroup, and go at it again.
Yeah, and just the style that they play. It seems like they're always in those close games. I remember watching them in the district tournament against South Point last year, and it was just one of those things that just a couple shots here and there, and they would have came out and maybe moved on to the district final. So I think we have our next coach on the line. We have Coach Ethan Leist from Eastern Pike. Coach, are you out there?
I'm here. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for calling in. First time we've got to talk to you this year. I know you guys are off to a really good start, 3-0. Just talk to us a little bit about your team and the start of the season that you guys have had so far.
Yeah, it's a really interesting start for us. We actually got our guys back the last week in November. Our football team, really nice run in the playoffs. We got beat in the regional final game, and so that was the first time since I've been here, or since I've been a head coach, where we've kind of had to deal with that situation. Obviously, it's a really good thing to have, but we have about 22, 23 guys in our program, and of those 22 or 23, I think 15 of them played football. So there were a few weeks there where we had 7 or 8 guys in the gym, and we're just trying to do what we can, prepare for when we get everyone back. But it's a tough situation. So got off to a unique start. The beginning of our schedule actually was supposed to play South Webster that first week. That one got moved back to tomorrow. We had Clay here at home and played pretty well. Things were a little bit sloppy. We still had some rust. Went to Wheelersburg on Tuesday. Was able to get a win down there, which is obviously very difficult to do. And then just finished up a game tonight at Green. So we're off to a pretty good start right now. Still have a lot of things that need to improve, but it's a fun.
Yeah, I think the one thing when I sit here and look at your scores, getting that late start from football season, it looks like your offensive production has been going up and up. And I think that's just a matter of probably your boys being in the gym for a couple of weeks now, getting those shots out, getting some of that football rust off of them. Just talk about maybe how things have kind of smoothened up a little bit for you offensively here.
Yeah, you're spot on. You know the game really well, obviously. You understand how that works. It's difficult at first because you have a lot of things that you really want to get in. You want to kind of teach the guys. And thankfully, I've had a lot of these guys the last years, so they kind of know how we do things. But, it takes some time at first. You got to get your defenses in. You got to teach them to want to do things defensively. That's our number one priority coming out of the gate. You got to teach a lot of technique stuff. Not always a lot of time when you go an hour and 30 to 2 hours in practice to spend 20 or 30 minutes getting shot up. That's something that kind of comes. You're in the gym, so we've kind of made a real priority last few days or last week or so to make sure we're getting a lot of shots up. Because I was listening to you guys earlier talking about making shots. The game is a lot about making shots. So we try to prioritize getting a lot of shots up this. And I think that's kind of to knock the rust off. But as you guys know too, it's just you got to play games. So yeah, you're right. The offensive production has gotten better. But we really, as coaches, we really made the number one priority to just focus on defense. We have a pretty deep team, fairly athletic. And so we feel like our calling card to be on the defensive end of the floor. If we keep that effort steady, I feel like the offense will come along.
Coach, you have your rotation. You playing a lot of guys. Or how's your bench, your depth? I mean, I know coming off a football season and how you structure practices and things like that, you have to get so many things in. But a lot of times, sometimes the best thing to do is just let them play. And I was just, kind of curious as to your team's makeup in terms of, are you guys able to do that and get some good scrimmage run in throughout your practices in between your games?
Yeah, that's a good point. I've had the opportunity just through playing basketball in high school, chance to play some in college, and I was a coach down in Kentucky for a year and met some people that are just great basketball minds. And one of the people I was able to had the privilege to do that is Chris Barnes that coaches down at Ironton. And I talked to him quite a bit, football run, just kind of asking him for advice. One of the things he told me was exactly what you just said. Try to make it a point to let them play and practice because that's how you want to condition them coming out of football. And that's also an opportunity to knock the rust off too. So, yeah, I mean, try to fit that time in every day just to see kind of how they're going to respond to different situations. One thing that's been really, really good for us is that we have right now 11 guys on the varsity, and all 11 of them are capable. I'm pretty sure in our first 3 games, I think 11 guys have played in every game. So that was one of my things early is some non-conference games. Obviously, we won every game, but especially in the first half, get those minutes, just see how they respond to game situation, let them play. And, sometimes as a coach, it's hard to do that. It's hard to just, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the bench. But the way I look at it is if they can get that experience now and we can see what they can do, at least give them an opportunity, then we'll be better for it as a group. And I'm try to build depth. And thankfully, that's something that we've got some athletes, especially defensively. We have a lot of depth, so we're trying to build that as the season goes on.
Yeah, it seems like right now it's a really good time to be down there at Eastern Pike, Coach. You guys got a lot of good athletes, good basketball season last year, really good football season, and I'm always a firm believer that success breeds success. And talk to us about some of your players this year. Just mention them by name. Just talk about what their roles are and maybe how many years they've been playing varsity. I mean, you guys got all this depth. You're in one of the smaller school divisions. Just talk about your kids a little bit this year and what your goals are.
Sure. Well, my first couple of years here, we've had good basketball players, but we've been maybe 7, maybe 8 deep at most this year. As of right now, we're 9 deep, and so that just speaks to kind of what you said with having football. I got the job here. Continuing to grow. Actually, my 7th grade year was the first time that we got a football program. They built it up with my class. So I actually had the opportunity to be the first varsity quarterback here, and we had a pretty good team. But what they've been able to build here is under Coach Scott Tomlinson and his staff. When I got the job here, one of the things I said is, I don't want to work against football. I want to work with them because I would be stupid to try to work against that at a small like this. So he and I have a good relationship. We coached together in my first year here, and we talk quite frequently and try to share kids. A lot of our key players are also football players, as you might imagine. Seniors, Tucker Lice, Declan Davis, Wyatt Richardson are 3 of our stars, and they obviously make a big impact for us. They were big impact players on the football field, but they're big impact players for us too, especially on the defensive end of the floor. They kind of set the tone for us. So rounding out the starters, I have junior point guard Aiden Warner. He's been ready for us really all 3 of his years. He's varsity, and just kind of he keeps us steady. He can handle the ball. He's a good, solid defender. Tucker Lice is kind of just he's our catalyst on both ends of the floor. Just high energy guy, good athlete, can throw the ball. But we're at our best as a team when he and Wyatt Richardson are leading us on defense, and that's what we've tried to preach to these guys. The other senior, Declan Davis, he came over from Pike. Actually, was an Eastern guy. Went to Piketon for a few years. Came back here for his senior year. We just try to preach to these guys. Dalton Southworth is our senior. He's a captain. We try to preach to them to really set them for us defensively. We're going to play. We've already played against teams that are more athletic than we are, better offensive players or whatever. You see that at a small school. But that winning experience we have on the football field, you can look at it as a problem or look at it as a good opportunity. And I think for us, it's been a really good because, like you said, it breeds confidence.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate you calling in and talking to us tonight. Tell us a little bit about your team, and wish you the best of luck tomorrow. You guys are traveling to South Webster, and we look forward to hearing back from you here in the future.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, he did bring up a good point, Coach, about working with the football coach instead of fighting against him.
Yeah.
You know, how did you used to work with the football coach?
I had a split personality. No, but I mean, he's right. And no matter, whether you're at a school our size or, especially at a school Eastern size, it's a must. And, you'd be crazy to try to work against that. You got to, these guys are only in high school for 4 years and they only have the opportunity to do this stuff for 4 years. You want them to make the most of that. And, when coaches can work together, obviously the kids are the most important thing, and that's who wins. And, the one thing I noticed with the run that their football program went on was just the community support that they get down there for their athletics is really good. I mean, one of the questions I was going to ask him is how much time he had to spend running all that food off of them, because those guys ate, I feel like, for 3 weeks straight. Someone was providing that football team with a team meal. It was amazing that, just the community support that they have down there, and off to a 3-0 start basketball-wise. So, things are rolling at Eastern.
Yeah, things are like, at small schools like that, it's really special. Like when a team goes on a run, you get that community support. And, I think the OHSAA needs more of that. That's my own personal opinion, but that's another topic for another day. So, okay, we do have our next coach on the line. I believe we have North Adams boys basketball coach Austin McCormick. Coach, are you out there?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Coach, thanks for calling in. You guys are off to a pretty good start this year, 3-1 record. You guys been putting up some pretty good points your last 3 games, 62, 66, 61. Talk to us about maybe what's been working well. Have you guys scoring out in transition, off your defense, or just talk to us about what's been going well for you?
I think it's a little bit of both. We're undersized nights that we step onto the floor, so we know we have to play up tempo and we got to get out and go. And that comes from being able to turn people over and get out in transition, and also just off makes and misses. And that's kind of what we've done so far out this year.
Talk about playing up tempo. Sounds like you guys are pressing. What type of press you guys running this year?
We like to be able to mix it up, be able to kind of keep teams off balance a little bit, and it also kind of depends on personnel from game to game. So, we want to mix it up as much as possible, try different things, be effective night in and night out.
Yeah, Coach, North Adams basketball is, the tradition. It's amazing, and obviously this your first year as the head coach down there following Coach Copas. Kind of talk about what that's been like. I know you've been in the program for a while, and how often is Coach, is he still involved? How's that transition been?
It's been really well. It's went really well. Coach Copas has been a huge help, not only to me the last couple of years, but even now, with him being out of it, he's still a lot of film for us, and it always gives me advice, and I greatly appreciate that. I just appreciate everything he's taught me over the last couple of years, and it's just an honor to be able to this program. I mean, I've grown up here, played here, coached here now for 5 years, and just it means so much to the community, and I don't take that lightly, and I wouldn't want to coach anywhere else, and I just love it so far, and just thankful to the community for their support and everybody, including Coach Copas. It's made it great.
Coach, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. You're talking about playing up tempo and pushing the basketball, which obviously North Adams is known for. Who are some of the guys that you're kind of leaning on? I know losing Coach's son, Copas, Branson last year. He's done a lot for 4 years. Who are some of the guys that have stepped up and kind of taken that role on?
Jace Rothwell has stepped up in a big way. He's had to change positions for us. He's played off the ball the last 3 years, and now he's running the one for us. Done a great job of it. Christian and Carson Osborne both have really stepped it up defensively and played really hard. Both great energy guys. Carson has really became a really good leader for us, and Connor Young as well. Stepping up, he brings a little bit of size to the table for us at 6'3". He's athletic, he can do it well. So we've had multiple guys step up, and it's helped us a lot here these first couple games.
Yeah, and it sounds like, Coach, playing that up-tempo style basketball, pressing, making it like a 94-foot game, so to speak. You guys, sounds like you guys probably have some depth. Obviously, you got to have a lot of depth if you're going to play that style. Is it one of those things where you're just kind of running guys in and out, maybe just trying to wear the other team down a little bit? Just talk to us a little bit about your subbing and stuff like that.
That's been something that, trying to figure out kind of as we go along, and maybe something that's not set in stone as of now. We're playing 8 guys. Our core guys in big games have racked up a lot of minutes, and kind of some of our role guys have kind of been in and out, kind of maybe some quicker substitutions and things along those lines. But, the rotation's still a work in progress, and it kind of depends night from night. There's a few kids who are going both for us that are ready from a night-to-night basis to come in and do their jobs as well, to kind of give us a little bit of extra depth. So it's still a work in progress, but you're absolutely right. You have to have depth to play that style, and that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah, obviously you guys had a really, really good run last year. What's kind of the Southern Hills Athletic Conference looking like this year? You guys, still have a good record. Obviously, you're scoring lots of points. You guys looking to be near the top of the league again this year, or how's that looking?
I think the league is really deep this year, deeper than what it has been in the past. Eastern, Brown, extremely tough team to prepare for. They create match problems all over the floor because of their size. Peebles is young and athletic and hungry, and they've played well early. Fayetteville, they're in the small school side of things, but they will also create some mismatch problems. And there's just a lot of depth. Lynchburg's been playing really well right now, so a lot of depth to the league. You have to bring your A game every single night. We were able to pick up a big win against Eastern last week, and we just got to continue to look to put forth great efforts, and we'll take care of itself.
Who's next for you guys? Who do you guys play next?
We have a big week next week. We have White Oak Tuesday night. Then we have Peebles Friday. Go to Williamsburg Saturday for a non-league matchup.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you calling in here and talking to us tonight. It's always good to hear from teams over that way, and sounds like you guys are off to a really good start, and we look forward to hearing back from you later in the season.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys reaching out and all you do to cover our kids. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, that Southern Hills Athletic Conference, I know a couple of the schools have picked up football here in the last couple of years, Matt, but that's traditionally been a really, really strong basketball school. They basically played basketball from June through March.
Exactly. Like, I used to like to try to scrimmage some of those teams, and it was always tough, and you knew you were probably in for it. Like, back when teams had team shoes, you'd go to the first scrimmage, and these guys already have their team shoes. They've got 2 or 3 different presses in. They're, they play basketball. In those small communities and things like that, not a lot to do. Go to school, play basketball, and they're really good at it. So, it's a lot of tradition down there in that conference with a lot of good teams and a lot of great coaches over the years.
Is Coach Buechler, is he still over at Eastern Brown or not?
I feel like he is, because if he wasn't, I think we would have heard.
Yeah, I know he was a couple of years
ago.
ago. My gosh,
Yeah.
I think I graduated with one of his sons, RJ, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was a heck of a ball player. But
there were several Buechlers down there, and Coach has done a great job with that program. But same with North Adams, tradition and rolling early.
Yep. All right, we've got our next coach on the line. We have Unioto boys basketball coach Matt Combs. Coach, you out there?
Yeah. Yep.
Coach, we was trying to follow the game tonight, and sounds like a tough one. Falling on the road at Westfall, 61-58, I believe, was the final, and just kind of following it along. It seemed like one of those things that maybe the lid was on the basket there early in the game, especially in that first half, and maybe just make a couple of those easy shots. Maybe things would be a little bit different for you tonight.
Yeah, it's 2 things jump out at me, and one of them is missing a lot of easy shots tonight. I felt like we actually probably got the ball inside, to the basket or inside, one way or the other, either with the drive or the post, better than we have, because we kind of fall in love with the 3 at times, and we actually got it in there better tonight. But then we just didn't finish a lot. We didn't shoot real well from three either. Don't get me wrong, but we missed a lot of inside shots tonight. That was one of the things that cost us for sure.
Yeah, I think you guys had, 3 guys in double figures, but it sounded like KB Perkins, you're talking about, getting the ball inside. It sounds like he had a really big night for you, almost kind of dominating inside the paint.
Yeah, KB had a good game in terms of, we got the ball to him a lot. It was kind of just a messy, sloppy game, I felt like. I haven't watched the film yet, obviously, but it just felt like, that, coaching it, I guess, that it was just kind of helter-skelter both ways and ball getting knocked around a lot. And I don't know, KB did a good job, finished, at times finished, and there was some that he wasn't able to. But we did do a better job of getting it in there to him. And he always, rebounds well. That's one thing. He always goes after, a lot of rebounds outside of his area, which gives him some opportunities down there too. But yeah, I mean, we want to play more inside out. We know we're going to shoot a lot of threes, and that's fine, but we'd like to do it inside out rather than just off the first pass.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and there's different ways to do that, and you know that, and whether it's penetrating kick or throw it in and then throw it back out and play out of it. And I just felt like you talked about, the game was helter skelter. It was up tempo. It was kind of crazy at times, and I felt like just tonight, for some reason, the ball bounced Westfall's way in certain situations and allowed them to, to win a close game at home, which is what you're supposed to do, protect your home court. And kind of the way that Westfall finished the second quarter and then hit a big shot at the buzzer in the third quarter, I really felt like those were two big plays or two big sequences, that had a impact on the game, and just stuff that, obviously we got to clean up, and I know you'll do that. And I felt like, again, our effort was there all night long, and you guys played hard, but, winning on the road's not an easy thing to do in this league. So kind of, I guess from the mindset, did you feel like your guys were ready to go in a tough environment tonight?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was anything like we weren't ready to play or anything like that. I mean, we talked to our guys about composure and poise. I thought at times we had it, at times we didn't. I thought we weathered the storm, honestly, after their start.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had 3 or 4 guys hit threes early. We weathered the storm. We actually ended up getting about a 5-point lead late in the second quarter. And then I said earlier there were 2 things, and you just named the other one, time and score tonight. I mean, time and score at the end of the second quarter, we weren't good. Instead of being up 5 or 6, I think we were up 1 because we had some costly turnovers and decisions there late in the second quarter. And then a little bit of time and score at the end of the third too. We probably had a chance to be up maybe 3 or 4, instead we're tied. As you know, that stuff will come back to haunt you a lot, especially on the road. And, and that part of it's on me because we need to do a better job of practicing those situations. Those can be hard to simulate in practice sometimes. You try to do some time and score stuff, but it's hard to make it realistic sometimes. And tonight was our first game. If you think about it, it was our first game where the time and score stuff really mattered, because every other game we've been a part of has been, kind of a big margin or whatever. And tonight was tight throughout, and you have to execute in those situations. So that's something that as a coach I need to, help fix in practice, and we'll try to do that.
Yeah, Coach, I think the one thing, I think it was probably due to foul trouble tonight, but I think you were down 7, 23-16. I think KB got a second foul, and I think you went small, maybe played 5 guards or, just a non-post, so to speak, and you go like on a 14-0 run. Is that something that you guys, do, periodically throughout the game, is play small, or is that just something that just the way the game was going or whatever, just so happened tonight?
Yeah, some. I mean, we also like to play Dawson Mitchell in there, and we weren't able to get him in there as much as we would like tonight because, Westfall's kind of a unique matchup because they don't really have what I would call a true post. Their guys, they're the guys they use in the post, step out and shoot. Like, a matter of fact, one of their posts hit a 3 early tonight, and so what happens is we either had to go small if we wanted to play man, or if we went bigger, like with Dawson off the bench for KB, then you have to play zone. And we just, hindsight's 2020. We didn't feel like zone was the way to go. We wanted to continue to play man. So David gave us some good minutes. So it does give us that option, I guess, of playing him at a 5 position and going small and, like you say, and trying to, I guess, up the defense pressure a little bit.
What's next for the Shermans, Coach?
We go to Huntington on Tuesday, and then home against Zane Trace Friday. It's another tough week in the league, and so we got to get back to practice this weekend. And obviously our guys are pretty down tonight, but we don't have much time to really lick our wounds. We've got to bounce back from it, have good practices, and get ready for Huntington.
Well, I think that's the one thing, it's going to sting tonight, but you guys still kind of control your own destiny, so to speak, in the SVC, right? Like, you still play Zane Trace. They're undefeated, so you can control that. And then obviously you got the second round against Westfall and everybody else too. So it's just one of those things that, it stings, and, it was a game maybe you would like to have, and a couple bounces don't go your way, or the ball bounces Westfall's way tonight, like Coach said. And I think it's just one of those things. You got a lot of upperclassmen on your team too. They've been there. They've won the league. And I think they're going to bounce back and, get you guys going back in the right direction.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, we're definitely going to need leadership from the older guys. We're going to need positive leadership. We're going to need guys who can help us in those situations with, like we talked about, the composure and the poise in those types of games, and help bring some of our less experienced guys along. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, these guys that have been through the battles over the last couple of years are going to be really, really important to our growth, through this first round of league games and, really the first half of the year until some of our less experienced guys get their feet on the ground.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you calling in and talking to us tonight. And, hopefully you guys get back on the winning track here this coming week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have more coaches lined up on the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by Ohio Health has to offer by visiting our website at sosaohio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's sosaohio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Caleb Williams has transferred to Wendy's for the new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This burger's my inspiration, and I just hope to inspire you.
Oh, you have inspired us.
Thought we were doing names on the headband.
Get it together. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new loaded nacho cheeseburger.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Basketball Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. It's the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show for a variety of healthcare needs, including chiropractic services, physical therapy, nutrition guidance, dry needling, stretch rehab, corrective exercises, lifestyle advice, and more. Turn to Haynes Total Healthcare Center at One Health Drive in Chillicothe. Call 740-772-5957 or visit Haynes Total Healthcare online at hayneshealth.com. We are back live here, Coach, and we have our next coach on the line. We have Lynchburg-Fairfield boys basketball coach Quentin Williams with us. Leesburg comes in with a 3-0 record. Coach, you out there? Coach, you out there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to talk to us here late on this Friday night. And I know it's been a week or two since we've talked to you, but you know, your basketball team seems to be playing pretty well, off to a 3-0 start. And just talk to us a little bit about what's happened since the last time we talked to you.
Yeah, we're getting better. I think we've started to put together some practices, some back-to-back practices there, to where we've had some solid improvement. I feel like there for a while, a little bit before the preseason. I kind of think we were kind of consistent there a little bit, but I see my kids, especially lately, starting to gel more, come together, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, we're starting to understand a lot better and what it takes.
Yeah, I think defensively, when I look at the scores of your games, I think that's obviously one of the strengths of your team. I know we talked about that a little bit last week, but you guys have given up 27, 40, and 49, and especially when you're talking about boys varsity basketball, that's not a lot of points, not giving up that many points, and you're always going to find yourself in a good ball game if you're able to defend like that.
Yeah, our goal, obviously it's a little bit different every game, but our goal is to try to hold teams around 40 points in the 40s, because obviously you can't always rely on your offense. You might hit shots one night, you might not, but you can always rely on your defensive principles and trying to do things the right way. So I think if you try to do that, then you're going to put yourself in a good position every night to try to win a ball game.
Yeah, and then offensively, you guys have obviously been doing a really good job of shooting the basketball. You know, most recent game putting up 64 points. And just talk to us a little bit about what's been going well offensively for you. Just shooting the ball well, or you guys running some really good sets to get some players wide open shots, scoring off your box press? Just talk to us offensively.
Yeah, offensively, the big thing with us is we try to spread the wealth out. Every one of our games, we've had a different leading scorer so far this year, which is a good sign that we're taking good shots. So we just preach a lot. I mean, we run several different sets. We have some continuity offense. We run some quick hitters, but big thing, same thing as defense, is we have offensive principles on, how the other team's guarding us, on what we do. And like I was talking about before, I have some talented but younger kids that are starting to understand how to make reads, how to get to their spots, how to get paint touches, and what a good shot really is. So we're going to get a lot better on that side of the ball as we get a little bit more physical as well. But yeah, it's a good sign when, like I talked about, that every one of our games so far, we've had different leading scorers. So I've been pleased for the most part.
Coach, who do you guys have coming up next?
We got a good week coming up. So Tuesday we play at Peebles, Friday we play Fayetteville, and then Saturday we play Paint Valley. So
tough week. Three games in a week's always tough. Kind of what are you looking for out of your guys? With obviously you got to take it one game at a time, but like leading up to this next Tuesday game, you mentioned Peebles athletic basketball teams at home or away?
It is away. It's at Peebles, and Josh Airy is obviously a really good coach. I'm originally from Peebles, and I grew up with him, so and his son. So I have a tremendous respect for them. He's going to get the best out of his ball club every single year, no matter who he's got on the floor. And they're a pretty deep ball club this year. A lot of guards. They play about 8 or 9 every single night. They're going to get after you. They're going to compete extremely hard. So it'll be definitely a good challenge for us on Tuesday.
Coach, you got any extra nerves playing against Peebles and just being from there?
I wouldn't say nerves, maybe a little bit of like a chip on my shoulder.
Some extra
but
juice.
I feel like honestly, at this point, I feel like everybody, kind of gunning for us just the way, we've had the last couple of years and the success we've had, especially with me being a little bit younger. I feel like every night we typically get everybody's best shot, or, now when people's schedules come out, I feel like a lot of people circle us. So, the big thing, like I try to tell our kids, is we got to come ready to play every night, because it doesn't matter who you play. So I try not to approach anything any differently than any other game. But yeah, some games like that where you're going home, it's nice to see everybody, but obviously you want to go in there and try to compete and come out with a W.
Yeah, it makes you feel a little bit better going back home and winning and stuff. There's no doubt about that. You said something a couple minutes ago that's kind of intriguing that I don't feel like we really hear much about anymore in high school basketball. You were talking about continuity offense, and I had like a flashback to when I was playing at Zane Trace, the old shuffle. I know Coach Hoops over here shaking his head right now, but
hated guarding shuffle.
Just talk to us a little bit about
action over and over again.
Yeah. Well, what type of continuity offense you guys normally run?
We have 2 main ones, which a lot of people run it, but we do a lot of different things out of it depending on how people guard us. And we might run one night because it's working better, and then run another one another night. But we run ball screen continuity. Euro ball screen. We try to do a lot of different stuff out of that. It's more of our, ball screen type, try to get baseline drives or get to the middle, paint touches, stuff like that. And we also run a form of chin to where, we have our principles on how teams are guarding us, what we do. So either way, we're going to adjust it a little bit here and there. So it's still continuity, it's still putting you in situations for the kids to where you're not necessarily doing the same thing over and over again, but you're getting the same reads in the same positions pretty consistently. That way it tries to make it easier for the kids because they know where they're going to be at. They know how to make the reads, in order to make the reads, et cetera. So,
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, Coach, that you just kind of said without saying it, is when you have kids that know how to play instead of knowing what the play is, right? They know how to react. They know how to play. That kind of takes the kids to the next level, so to speak.
Yeah, you have to. Honestly, that's what basketball is about. It's not about, going out there and running offense and going through the motions. Obviously, I'm big on structure and discipline, and like I talk about with my principles that we try to teach how other teams guard us in different ways. So I try to teach kids, no matter what the defense does, we're going to have some type of counter. This is what you should do to beat it. And, you know, my kids have done a pretty good job at doing that. Now, did they do it perfect? Obviously, every time? No. But I feel like with this group of kids especially, I have multiple people, like I've talked about, that can make those decisions and get in right spots and make good reads, you know. So that's what's, like I said, it's a good sign.
Yeah, and that ball screen continuity offense is so tough to defend because you can do so many different things out of it. You can slip the screen, you can refuse the ball screen, you know, you can come down, get downhill off the ball screen. You can, you know, there's so many different things you can land onto and throw back to your post guy popping. It's difficult to guard. You know, we ran a lot of it last few years when I was coaching at Unioto, and you know, it's just a really good offense. And the thing that you find in it, and I'm sure you'll see this as well, especially with your younger guys, the more comfortable they get in it, just like anything else, the more confident they play, and it's really hard and difficult to defend.
Yeah, I've seen you guys run it for quite a long time, and you guys did a really good job at it. But yeah, I would say as far as where I feel like this team's most comfortable with is probably with that offense right now. And like you said, there's just so many different things that you can do off of it. And, you know, you just always want to try to have a counter to how the defense is playing you. And my kids, I feel like, do the best job in that offense right now.
Yep, no doubt about it. Well, Coach, it sounds like you guys got the Lions playing some really, really good basketball. And like you said, you've got to that point where people are circling you on their schedule. And, you know, you guys, like we've talked about in the past, had a really, really good season last year. And here you guys are again, starting off a really good start. And appreciate you calling in and talking to us this week. Always like talking the X's and the O's with you and give us a good breakdown of what's going on. And wish you the best of luck this week. You got a big week.
Yeah, we definitely do. We still got a long ways to go, trust me. So, I mean, just because we have a 3-0 start doesn't mean anything. We could be 3-3 at the end of next week. So you got to show up and you got to do the things the right way. I appreciate you guys having me. And if you don't mind, I want to give a shout out to one of my buddies from high school. He's from Lynchburg, Clay. His name's Gage Waits. His girlfriend ended up passing away this last week. And I just want to say, you know, I'm thinking of him. I'm praying for him. And I mean, I just can't imagine young people passing away at a young age, man. It's a sad thing. So I just want to let him know I'm thinking of him and I'm praying for him, and I'm here and I love you, buddy.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers out to that family and community also. So, Coach, we appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing back from you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So he's a really good coach about breaking down X's and O's, Matt, and I can just picture what they're doing just by the way he talks and he communicates it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, young, energetic coach, a lot of really good ideas, you know, a lot of really good players to you know, express those ideas and thoughts with, and he's getting the most out of them. And, you know, I think this is his third season, and you know, they've been really successful the past two, and off to a good start this year as well.
Yeah, the record speaks for itself. There's no doubt about it. So we, you know, while we got a second here, you know, last time we talked, Ironton was getting ready. They were playing the state championship game and came up with a big W. And I think it's worthy of noting because, man, a state championship in Southern Ohio is huge.
Huge. And I think, you know, I talked 2 weeks ago. I said Ohio State was going to get it done, and I was obviously wrong with that. Last week I said felt like Ironton could get it done if Sean Terry did what Sean Terry does, and he without a doubt did. I mean, he dominated that state final game, and really, really, you know, obviously Ironton's on the map, but now there's a lot of attention on him now, even more so with just, you know, a huge win.
Offensive player of the year in D5, and you know, I followed their Facebook page, and just seeing all the colleges that were at Ironton recruiting this year is just,
it's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, they've got it going on down there.
It's crazy. So, okay, we got Coach Matt Payton from Portsmouth Notre Dame girls basketball on the line with us, and I'm just going to get this question out of the way right off the bat.
Turn your homework in.
Yep.
Turn it in.
Did you complete your homework assignment?
Come on, guys. You know I completed the homework assignment.
Well, it's not on our desk, so you're going to have to.
Well, So I was off a few numbers, but we're at 126 conference game win streak.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. So next time we talk to you, we can get an updated number. So 126.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
126 straight conference games we've won, and we don't play till January conference play. So got a little bit of time to get better till then. But I looked, the last time we lost a conference game was January 5th, 2015. We lost to Eastern Pike 60-57.
Oh my goodness! Bonus points. You even got the score.
That sounds like a trivia question, Christian.
Exactly. There you go. There's your trivia question for a couple, down the line. Hopefully we can keep this streak rolling. The record is 141. Afrocentric girls have that.
And that's for league wins?
Yeah, that's for conference wins in a row.
Man, that is just unheard of.
It's truly incredible what JD and just the girls and the programs put in down here. It truly is incredible. Been blessed with just great athletes and just great buy-in. So it's been fun.
Now, Coach, I'm not 100% sure right off the top of my head how many teams are in your league. Is that something that you might be able to hit this year, or would that have to go into next year also?
It's going to have to go into next year. We probably would have hit it this year, but past 2 years, Ironton St. Joe hasn't had a girls basketball team. So that's been kind of the big thing, is them not having basketball for 2 years. That's been kind of a delay for us. We've had 4 games missed there, and then, like I said, it would maybe come down this year if we win our games. But like I said, we got to think. So we have 6 teams in our conference, and at one point we had, I think, 7 or 8 teams, but then they switched to 3 conferences for SOC, and we ended up losing a couple.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll come back to this history lesson another day, Coach.
You're off the hook until after the holidays.
Until after the holidays. Well, like I said, it's always fun to talk to, and I'm a big stats guy. I always have been. So whenever I heard these stats, I was just like, that can't be real. And then I just did more research to it. I'm like, this is insane. Yeah. But of course, it's something special. Like I said, we played a team, like we played Western this week, and they're a team that used to be in our conference, but now they're not in our conference anymore. And, I had a talk with their coach before the game, and he was like, it's trying to build the program up. And I was like, I understand. So it's one of those, they've had some lopsided scores too, but I thought we had a really good game just for both of us to play. And they got a lot of girls in experience, and she's doing it the right way. And that's what I want. I want girls basketball to thrive. I don't want to see, embarrassment of stuff either. I want us all to succeed. And, I don't want to see, it's one of those, like, you hate seeing scores where there's like 60-8 or 70-10. It's just like, that's not, I want to see people stick with the sport and not give up on it. So,
Coach, what do you think? Because I feel like that's happening
yes,
more often now than ever. What do you think is the reason for that, if there is one? I mean, it has to be something, because I can't remember a time where you look at the paper or the website or anything, and you see such lopsided scores where it's not even close. What do you think maybe is contributing to that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but from what I've kind of gathered is, like, I think the biggest thing you're seeing is there's just a lot of opportunities for girls out there. You have cheerleading during the winter sports. You have travel volleyball become really big, and so has travel softball. Where it was back in the past, travel volleyball and travel softball wasn't that big, and it was AAU basketball. Like, everybody did AAU basketball. Well, now those other sports have kind of used that AAU model where they're getting a lot of girls out and they're playing year long and things like that. And it's just, I mean, some girls that's their interest. Like I said, it's hard. Even here at Notre Dame, like, we have the tradition we don't have a junior high team this year. We didn't have enough girls come out for it. And that's just, it's something that's scary. I mean, it feels like it's like on its last legs, but you got to try to plug and promote your program, but you also don't want to it's a fine line from where teams that put in a lot of work and have these great programs, and then they go and play these teams, and you get these lopsided scores, and girls don't want to be a part of that. So I'm not really quite sure what the answer is to fix it. I mean, either you go the Kentucky route by allowing junior high kids to play. I mean, that's the only thing with other coaches I've talked to, that's kind of what we've just been talking back and forth. What's the answer to make sure that our sport doesn't die?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: like you just said, your junior high doesn't have a team this year. What are you doing with the girls that wanted to participate but aren't able to because there weren't enough of the players?
So I have about 3 solid girls, 2 or 3. One is she's actually playing a junior high at Portsmouth because she lives in, like, when a school doesn't have that, you can play locally with a different term with your school. So, and because we're private, so they can do that too. So that's kind of the thing. That's kind of helped this year, but we've, and you can't really have them practice with you. She's one of my I've offered her to be a manager. Like when she doesn't have games, she's on my bench, just, being a part of the team and everything. But it's just, like I said, it's just hard. Now I do have good numbers from 6th grade down. Just making sure they stick with it's the big thing.
I just kind of piggybacking here, just back from the days where I coached girls basketball. I always felt like it was really tough when I was at Adena. I felt like it was really tough because Adena had a really good volleyball program, and I always felt like the difference in all the kids going out for volleyball and then the kids going out for basketball was there was a net in between the players, right? There wasn't physical contact. Because I know, the last 2 years I was at Adena, we had some really good girls teams. And I know for a fact that I had at least 4 to 5 girls each year that didn't want to play, that did not play in high school because they didn't want to practice against these kids that were juniors and seniors, and they were just so much physically stronger. And it kind of really hurt the program there for, 4, 5, 6 years because the best players from that grade, they didn't play. And so when they get to be juniors and seniors, they're behind a couple years.
Exactly. And then next thing you know, like you have classes where you have a heavy senior, junior class. You don't have those builder classes where usually like you try to have at least 2 or 3 kids like per class that you kind of can lean on. And you end up not having those. You can really get yourself behind the 8 ball. And like you said, I think a lot of it could be the physical contact. A lot of it too is like, I mean, there's more contact. It's more like an up tempo there. I mean, it's harder in my opinion. Not saying volleyball is not hard because my family's big into volleyball.
It's different,
great volleyball players, and it's different. And the same thing, like softball is different. Like there's all these different things where, this is actually physical contact back and forth, like football. It's just, like I said, it's just, maybe it's a little bit harder, and these are easier for them. They don't get injured as much. It's just something it's something that just really needs to be kind of evaluated, I think, more. And how can we fix this solution? But I think it's got to come from an upper level, like from an OHSA down thing. But I don't know. I do know areas around here are really struggling, and any D7 team I've talked to has struggled. I mean, Highland, who we played in the regionals last year, they only had 8 girls. And I mean, that's a program that's won
that's hard
10
to
straight, 10 state
8
titles
total in the whole program?
in their varsity program.
Wow. That is
that
crazy.
doesn't make sense.
And I'm like, yeah, and it's just like I said, but now their numbers are back up. They're like 13, but they had such a drop off. They're having such drop offs that it's becoming very noticeable.
Well, now that we're solving all the girls basketball problems of the world, Coach, I do want to talk to you about your team. Just, obviously you guys are off to a good start, 3-0. Talk to us a little bit about what you've done since the last time that we've talked to you.
Well, we had a game with South Webster, and we ended up winning that game, and we did better at some aspects of the game. Our rebounding got better, but we had some more turnovers than we liked to. So then last night we played, and we got our turnovers fixed. We got, our rebounding fixed. It was a good fixed game for us. This group's just very young, but I'm getting some great minutes from everybody. Everybody's starting to buy in. And we got a tough one tomorrow against South Point, which I mean, they're 2-2, but they've lost to Portsmouth and Fairland, who, in my opinion, probably the two best around. But I think we can, if we play the game how I want it to be played, like we play our game, I think we can hang in there and pull out a win and be 4-0. But like I said, it's just the hard part with girls basketball at times right now is you don't really know what you're going to get. But I think that's also it's part of the challenge is just getting your team to buy into what you're preaching. Like I said, if you want it to be, some teams want to go up and down, they want to run. And some teams that's great for, and some teams it's not. So for right now, ours is like, I want us to be up and down, but I want us to be more patient with the ball. So I think that's the big thing for us.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between being 2-2 and then being 2-2 and losing to Portsmouth and Fairland, who are teams that, both have goals of playing in that Final Four here in a couple months.
Yeah, exactly. And South Point was like 14-8 last year, and they got a lot of people back.
Yeah, I remember watching.
So
they got
like
a lot
I
of quick guards. Yeah,
they got some quick guards, and they got a bigger girl who can shoot it very well. But it's a good chess for us tomorrow. Like I said, I'm excited to see how my young group does. Like I said, we grew up a lot this past week, and I think we have another big week next week with Northwest at home, and then we go at Ironton next Friday. But I'm looking forward to this group. They still keep growing every day, and I'm having great numbers. So that's my big thing is they can keep growing and learning. I'm good with that.
Well, keep it up, Coach. Always good to talk to you, and good luck this week, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks, and have a good evening to you all.
Yep, thank you.
You too, Coach.
See you.
All right, Matt. Well, I think that is pretty much going to wrap up our show tonight. So for Matt Hoops and Christian Spradlin and myself, Jeran Cox, thanks for tuning in to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. And we look forward to being back here next Friday night, same time, same channel. You got to get here earlier, Hoops, by the way.
Home game for the Tanks. I'll be on time.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. That's going to be a big game. Must win.